Hey everybody, thanks so much for sticking around. Today's topic is going to be off the charts. It is fire. So do me a favor right now as we're trying to grow this I Need a Man channel. I need you guys to share it and also tag people. A lot of times if you just share it, people won't see it. So tag a girlfriend, tag a cousin, tag a male friend, married, single, or whatever, and have them come on over here and join us for this live stream. Now we have some mini videos coming up as you're waiting on the live stream to come on. So don't go anywhere. Just let this play, and I'll see you in a couple minutes. Hey, what's up? It's your girl, Vanessa Lynn, author of I Need a Man. Why are you attracting beta males? Well, you're attracting beta males because you're an alpha female. Now, let me be very clear. An alpha female does not mean you aren't pretty, aren't cute, aren't look feminine, but an alpha female leads. An alpha female rescues. An alpha female covers. An alpha female is the protector. Now, people get the beta male confused. The beta male is not a bum. Beta male can actually be doing very well financially, but the beta male is not a leader. A beta male depends on you to make the decisions, all of the decisions. The beta male depends on you for all of his emotional support. A beta male is clingy. Well, you've taken on that role, girl. Listen, a person is not going to go where they don't get fed. And so you're feeding that beta male energy with your masculine alpha female energy. And so in order to reverse that, girl, stop taking the lead. Stop being the man. If you stop being a man and allow the man to be the man, you'll attract the man. Okay? This is your girl, Vanessa Lynn, author of I Need a Man.
Bring up a few comments before we continue on with the show. So this first comment. Gotta leave your comments and your thoughts.
Hey, what's up, y'all? It's your girl, Lynn. What's tea? What's tea is I need a man. Ladies, I want to jump on these posts so bad and just be like, y'all get the book, get the book, get the book. You know what? If I hear one more lady talking about where are the good men this, men that, never taking a look at yourself, because if you're attracting the same type of man consistently, I don't care what they tell you. Because see, these other folks going to pacify you, okay? They're going to tell you it's all the men, it's not you, okay? No, ma'am. If you're getting the same thing or you're doing the same thing and expecting different results, that is the definition of insanity. I Need a Man takes a look at some behaviors or some patterns or maybe even some past traumas that we may have and pushing that on to men. If we don't take accountability for ourselves and our lives, then we can't expect just magic to happen, just a perfect guy disappear out of the blue. And there is no perfect guy because you ain't a perfect girl. Okay, so get I Need a Man at all book outlets. It is a great book club piece to have. And so I love to come by your book club and let's talk about Hey, what's up, y'all? It's your girl, Lynn. What's tea? What's tea is I need a man. Listen, there's been this conversation going around on social media, and I'm like, girl, what is up with this? So these women are like, you know what? I'm not about to be cleaning and doing all this because I'm not a maid. And I'm like, wait. Hold on, girl. As a grown woman, if you live alone, you cook every day for yourself. I hope so. You clean your house. You keep the house. You have the house the way you want to. And so it's not like, I'm sorry, are you made for yourself? If you're a single mom, you're doing these things for your kid. Are you made for your kids? So what I'm not understanding, ladies, is all this aggression and this hostility when somebody, when a man say he wants a woman to cook and keep the house clean. As far as I know, the house is the woman's. That's her domain. That's her fragrance. That's her atmosphere. I don't want no man cleaning up the house for me. That don't mean he just drop his drawers anywhere. But the house is that's your essence, right? As when guests come in your home, you're supposed to serve your guest. When somebody walk in your door, so what's the big deal about serving your man? I don't get where some of these attitudes is coming from, ladies. Some of this stuff doesn't make sense. Some of y'all got some valid arguments on some other things, but this right here, because again, if you're a grown woman, you're doing this stuff every day anyway. And I want my house my way. But it's the man house too. Yeah, but this is her essence. This is the woman's, just like the yard is like the man's essence or the barbecue or whatever, right? All these gender roles. You darn right it's gender roles, okay? You don't want to do gender roles, go on over there somewhere, child. This ain't what I Need a Man is about. Peace.
Well, I'm India, Georgia's best friend.
Oh, you're India. Sis has told me a lot about you.
Well, strangely, she hasn't even mentioned you at all.
What's the deal with you in India? I love India, but lately she just been acting real insecure and kind of low-key hating. You are making a fool of yourself in front of my friends.
Friends? Girl, you are so stupid. These people here are pretending to be your friend.
Get out!
Go to hell. You can go straight to hell.
We fall down, but we get back up. Struggles never hold us down. Keep the semi out of tuck. You can't never.
I have a question for you, ladies. Do you need a man? If the answer is yes, stay tuned for today's hot topic. This is Vanessa Lynn, author of I Need a Man, available wherever books are sold. Be sure to like, subscribe, share, and comment, and tell a friend about I Need a Man. Now enjoy today's show.
All right. All right, so we are live. Give me a minute so I can bring the fellas on. All right, I think we are all there. Good evening, gentlemen.
Good evening.
All this testosterone, okay? Y'all got the radio voices going on. All right, so what's happening down in ATL, Kevin? Everything good?
Oh yeah, just trying to work on my craft little by little.
Okay.
Working on this book, knocking this book out, and got me some screenwriting books. Trying to improve that on my end. You know what I'm saying? So just working.
Okay. All right. Well, you know what to do when you get ready.
Yeah.
What's going on, Thino? What's happening in your neck of the woods?
Slow motion. Like I said, I just started back teaching the real estate license class this week. So that's been kind of a zoo. So many people with COVID, so many people making transitions within what they used to do. Now everyone wants to either get an insurance license or get a real estate license. So my class has been 60, 70 people.
Oh, wow.
It's pretty large. So
okay. Well, if you can give it the info out, make sure you do that for the end of the broadcast.
Okay.
What's going on, Jay?
Not much. Just today was software day, so I had to get stuff together I got a couple new agents coming on, and I want to make sure that they can, when they do their prospecting, when they look for their properties, they can use the software efficiently and effectively, and I can go back to bigging up my property management business while they're selling properties. Try to get some things off my plate.
I gotta connect you and Thino because y'all both moving that property. And that's
Mathino's my guy. He sold me a house to my buyers in HP a few years ago.
Well, that's what's up.
Oh, I did?
Yeah.
Well, this is a really cool time for me. February, typically people get their taxes, right? They start getting their taxes. And so my client base gets really big around this time. And I have a lot of interesting projects, like projects that are a little bit out the norm. I have a teacher that I'm actually coaching her through writing a book for parents because it's so bad in the schools. I have a pastor. I'm going to be getting his book together for him. And I just got a client yesterday that needs a script doctored by tomorrow. That's like a 1940s, gangster era. All that is challenging, and I love it. You know what I'm saying? So, at the end, make sure y'all shout out, what you're doing. If you got some services to offer, we do that. All right. So, what we have on. Okay. First of all, excuse me, guys. I got some new glasses. I wear bifocals, right? And they're not tempered right. So, in order for me to see you guys, I have to do this. Or like I'm back here, I can't read, I can't see anything, so it's I feel a little weird right now. Okay, so like I take these off, I can't see it, but it's too close, I can't see it. So forgive me if I'm doing this all day. All right, what's going on in the comments? What's going on, Danny, Crystal, Jamal? All right, so let's do this first, guys. Let's go to a clip, and we will come back. But in the comments while we're going to this clip, First of all, I want to know from the ladies, has any man ever asked you on a date what you bring to the table? Fellas, I'm going to ask you guys that. I've personally never been asked that, right? I think this is more of a new thing, and I think some people are taking it out of context, but I've personally never been asked that. So let's just go to a very quick clip. And these guys are very controversial. They're probably more controversial than Kevin Samuels. This is the Fresh and Fit show. So I just want to play a quick clip of them asking, they were asking some ladies what they brought to the table, okay? And then we'll come back.
What do you bring to the table for that man that you actually want?
Hold on, did the audio just go out? Hang on. Because
What do you bring to the table for that man that you actually want?
all right. Did y'all hear the audio go out on that clip?
Yeah, I heard it go out.
Okay. What I'm gonna have to do is I'm going to, while I'm pulling that clip up, let's start with you guys. Have you gentlemen ever asked a woman that? Have you ever asked a woman just flat out what you bring to the table?
I have, but it was because usually when men ask that question, they're already clear that she doesn't bring anything to the table. The women that do bring something to the table, it's apparent, and we don't need to ask them.
Gotcha. Okay. So was it kind of like, okay, you're gonna let her eliminate herself? Is that kind of thing, or?
Kind of, because she was doing a lot of bragging about stuff that fade with time, like her pretty. Like, so what else do you bring to the table? Can you cook? Like, I don't be doing all that cooking. Oh, okay, that's what's up.
Gotcha. All right, Jason, have you ever asked somebody what you bring to the table?
Nope, never had to. Anybody that I ever dated or even had a conversation with, they pretty much either self-qualified or self-eliminated. So the whole question of what do you bring to the table, that meant that I shouldn't have been talking to you in the first place. So the girls that are on Fresh and Fit, they're usually kind of a younger crowd. So, and a lot of them are coming from the standpoint of, well, I'm young and I'm hot and all this kind of stuff. And it's like, okay, yeah, that what you have is standard issue on all female models. So, when you get outside of that, and you're in that age group, you do have to ask that question. What do you have other than you're young, you're hot, and you're tight, to have to ask that, So no, usually I'm dealing with a woman who actually has something to talk about, like my brother said before me. So I just didn't have to ask that until it's just time to excuse her from my presence.
Okay. Thino, have you ever had to ask a woman that?
No, I've never had to ask a woman that with a specific purpose in mind. I mean, a lot of times that what do you bring to the table doesn't come out in a it's a pretty off-putting question, number one. And if I did ask the question, it must have been a topic of discussion, well, what do you bring to the table? What do you think you bring to the table? Kind of thing, but not as specific as, okay, so it's a qualifier. Like, okay, so why should I be bothered with you? Why should I, you know what I mean? I've never had to ask that question because like the one gentleman said, you already know. If you already have if you're already interested in a person, you already know that there's something about them that they're already offering to the table that has already captured your interest before you even move any forward. And if there's something that's, that you can't deal with, it's going to display itself, in more immediate than long term. So I think it's an arrogant question. To be honest with you.
I agree. It's a real arrogant question to ask. If you ask that question, it's very off-putting and it makes you immediately jump to a defense, whether you're the man being asked or the woman's asking that of you. So it's a question that is kind of, it's like the body count question. It's one you really don't want to have to ask.
Yeah.
That if you got to ask the body count question, I don't know that I've ever asked a woman.
You might have to have a whole different show.
Yeah. That's wild right there.
Yeah, the reason I'm going to play this
verbal undressing.
Yeah, absolutely.
A whole segment. the reason why I wanted to bring this clip up is two things. Is that even though these women are younger, I don't see a difference a lot of time in what the older women are saying, right? Because if these young girls don't get the correct information, it's just going to continue on to their certain age, right? And then these women, which is our daughter's age, some of our daughter's age, they're in the prime of getting married. And so this is that period where you really can make or break your entire life, right? So let's just listen. I have a few clips. I just want to listen to them really quickly and have you guys respond to that. And then we'll get to the comments. Because what I really want to get to, especially actually to both ladies and gentlemen, is the people who you say you want. Do you know what they're looking to brought to the table? You know what I'm saying? We got to really talk about that, because a lot of time women and men have never really attracted the type of person they say that they want. Why is that? Is it because you don't really know what they're looking for or what they value? So let's listen to this. It's just like 2 minutes.
Do you bring to the table for that man that you actually want? Because think about this, right? My man has many beautiful girls. Why is he going to choose you over all those girls? So we can start over here. So what do you bring to the table for that man that you actually want?
Well, I work, I model, I do music videos. I'm always finding a source of income in the most legal way possible. I make my own clothes, I can cook, I can clean, I'm able to communicate. I personally feel like I have the maturity to be with a man long term and just be able to bring something to the table and grow with them in the future. Just like, I feel like that's what I bring to the table: open communication, just a good personality. I'm able to find different ways of making income and stuff like that. Like, even if we don't have it right now, we're gonna get it eventually.
So
like, that's my mindset.
You help your man make money.
Oh, for sure, 100%.
I know you guys can look and see what I brought to the table, because I'm talking about any millionaire. So
right there. Okay, so let's dissect, gentlemen, what she said. She said basically one thing that she brings to the table is she helps her man make money. How do y'all feel about that? Is that a value to a man? Because a lot of women value that, right? And let's think about it. If he has a business, her saying that she can add to it and help build the business, is that a plus? Is that something that men are looking for?
No, I wouldn't say necessarily. It really depends on the guy. It depends on his situation. But for the most part, the girl in the clip was pretty much interviewing. She was trying to find things that were of value to a man. And, again, what she had to offer was standard issue. It's expected that you can take care of home. It's expected that you have a decent personality, that you can take care of kids and cook and clean and be somebody that I want to talk to when I get home after I decompress from the day. For a guy to want a woman to help him build his business, men are particular about that. We have to want to trust you enough to bring you inside the sphere of how we make our money. If you're an entrepreneurial type, if you're just a guy who's got a really decent job or even a high power job, you can't help me do anything except decompress when I get home.
Okay. So basically what she was saying, go ahead, Kevin.
I mean, like Jason said, it sounded like she wrote that on the index card and memorized it.
Right.
What women don't understand is when men ask that question, they're talking about internal qualities. They're talking about integrity. They're talking about stuff that you can't see. Like, women like to mention their money. Like, I've never cared about what a woman made, whether she made more than me, whether she made less than me, whether we made the same. Like, that never factored into whether I was attracted to a woman like that. And I think that her being young, her thing is just, I'm just going to say a bunch of stuff and see what sticks. But you can tell she didn't even believe what she said. It just sounded like she was reciting something.
And I want to add, before I lose what I want to say. A woman can help me make money by helping me at home. I don't need, if you want to help me make money, then the 20 minutes that it takes me to get up in the morning to have my lunch together, so I can, that's what's going to help me. I'm not going to I don't find anything attractive about. I don't need a business partner in a business that I have going on, because I'm not going to spend all day at work and then come home to work.
Right.
Okay. Right. It's just now, I mean, may work for some, but you know, we have to have a better partnership to where, you know, this is what I'm going to do. This is how you can help me make that happen. Now, all of this, I can help him make money. I know how to get money from different. So I see all of that. That's just fluff. That's word salad, you know. So really, she doesn't know what she brought to the table. You know, she wants to bring things to the table. She just doesn't know what it is that she needs to bring or that she can bring. That's really what it is. Which is why you shouldn't even ask the question, because it will probably be different for the individual that you're dealing with.
Yeah,
I'll bring something different to the table for this woman based on the attributes and things that she has that complements what I have. That doesn't mean that I could bring the same things to the table for the next person. You know what I'm saying? It's different. You know, it's more fluid.
Yeah. I'm gonna get to some of these comments and I'm gonna come back to y'all. Jamal says, "Forget the table, bring it to our room. It's teamwork." So what do y'all think about what Jamal said? And he says, "Nothing wrong, because both have to live. But you don't let money run you. If she does bring something, he should too. It's a team effort." These girls are looking for guys with bank, Jamal. So they're not, these guys that they're looking for already have, they're not looking for the average.
No, sir. No.
Yeah.
And to piggyback off of what Mathino said, the whole partnership thing, you know, you have women who are fake submissive. Right. You know, I'm going to help you. We're going to do it together. And then she helps you, gets into your business, and she tries to tell you what's coming and going. And like I said before, you have to really trust that woman to bring her into your machine, because the wrong person, the wrong employee. I had an employee who I had to fire after I figured out that she was fudging time cards and messing with money. That was somebody I hired. I could only imagine what it's like to have a woman in my business that, you know, she's in my life and she's in my business and she's monkeying with the machine and change the whole direction about where I want things to go and blow the thing up. And now we're poor. No, thank you. So no, we ain't doing this together. This ain't partnership. This is dictatorship.
Yeah, and it's and I think that's what this is. The conversation is going to go that way, because you got guys like Jamal who don't really believe in that traditional thing. He believes in more of a partnership, right? And then you have the other more traditional mindset guys that, again, not looking for. And I think, let me say this to the ladies, right? I think that a mistake a lot of ladies make, and I certainly made it. Women, here's the thing, guys. If you go biblically, right? You go biblically. The woman's job is to help the man with his assignment. You go biblically, right? And I'm not even talking about people's individual beliefs. So you have a lot of women that were raised on that, right? So her, according to scripture, her job is to help him with his assignment. Now, how that plays out, I think, is got to be determined within that. Like Mathino said, you know, helping him is making sure everything is good around the house. You have other guys that say, hey, can you, if the phone rings at this property location, can you just pick it up for me? You know, so we do have to leave some room for some individuality before a woman just to jump in there saying, I'm gonna help with your business. I don't know if that's of value to a man, right? Because a lot of time we do that, and then ladies, what you end up being is more of a business deal. I done been there, done that. You end up being more of a business deal than having a romantic relationship. But I want the men to understand about women that are like real women. Our nature is to help. So sometimes if you see a woman doing that, it's not necessarily disingenuous. It's just her nature. Women just gotta help, right? And so sometimes she just gotta assist. You gotta just pull back and allow him to, like you said, bring you into his space of what he needs you to do. And I think that's the other thing, ladies. And I want to ask the fellas. Now we got a lot of comments. I think women want to help you the way they want to help. I even experienced that with just my stuff. Like, you know, I go, hey, I need some help. when I had the venues, I used to help at the venue, and people do, I want to do this. Well, that ain't what I need help with. I need you to come sweep. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying in general. So I think that women do have it like, well, I want to help with this, right? I had a situation where I have a lot of high value male friends, some of them 7 figures, and I've had the situation to be around them in very close quarters with their girlfriends and stuff like that. And I had one situation, a lot of people would not like it, but I had one situation where young man, he had a couple properties all over the country, and one of his girlfriends was staying at one of them out of town. When she came in town, he was like, can you sweep and mop and take care of that, right? She had a little attitude and stuff like that, but he was like, if she can't do that, then, you know what I'm saying, this is what I need you to do. I don't need you to do that. I need you to do this right here. And a lot of women may have an issue with that. So a lot of this, I want a high value man. Do we know what that is? So I think too, women want to help the way they want to help. And y'all can respond to that as I'm getting to some of these comments, and I'm struggling with my glasses. So
I think in a lot of cases, women they don't listen for understanding.
Yeah.
You know, like, okay, I need your help with such and such. What they hear is, I need you to help me with my business. No, I just need you to put these papers in a manila folder.
Right.
That's it.
Yeah.
I didn't need you to alphabetize all my files. I didn't need you to put them together. Everything is the way I need it to be. I just need you to take these papers and put it in this folder. And I think that's problematic of, I'm not going to say all women, but a good number of women. You know, a lot of times they hear what they want to hear, or they listen to respond and not to understand. You know, and I just think them listening to the words that are said and taking them for what they are, I think that would solve a lot of the communication breakdown.
All right. What do you feel about that, Jason? That women, basically, they want to help the way they want to help, and let me just defend some of the sister, and not all of them. Sometimes they're doing too much. Is that just women are just they're programmed to help, right? We really are. If you're in your program to help, so sometimes it's just raining our back, but then sometimes it's like, okay, I know better than what you need, right? And so that's why I'm gonna go ahead and alphabetize this for you. I'm gonna go ahead and do this. They think they're a help, but it's really can be a hindrance. So Jason, how do you feel about that?
Don't touch my desk. Bottom line, you ever had that computer, or even just in your phone browser, you have 20 windows open, 30 windows open? That's what the inside of my head is. So I appreciate you you want to help. I appreciate that. I really do. But how you help me how I want to be helped. Don't help me the way that you want to help me. So if you go clicking and closing my browsers, you organize my desk, it looks like a mess, but it's an organized mess. I know where everything is. I know what everything is. And if you want to help, let me put you in a role. Don't put yourself in the role of your choosing.
Yeah.
You know, there's guys that won't let a woman anywhere near his money-making situation. But then there are other guys, you know, if you want to bring your woman in, fine. Hire her, give her her role, and put her in a position that she can function in. That way, you can keep everything in the box that it belongs inside, not let it just spill all over your life and make a mess. And then y'all are at odds. So now you got problems with your money and you got problems at home. And that means that you got problems everywhere. And now it's time to get rid of something, probably her.
Okay, so Shay says, dictatorship, I can stand beside a good man, not behind. All right, well, okay, what you got to say about that, Mathina? Shay says she can stand beside a good man, but not behind.
Well, see, and it all comes down to each individual relationship and the communication. Because one may, like she mentioned dictatorship. Well, I think it can be viewed as a dictatorship if the communication and the intentions aren't clear and expectations aren't set up.
Yeah.
So let's do a role reversal. So how can I help you? How can I help the woman? How can I be of help to you? This is what I have going on. Okay, but we're in this together. So what do you have going on that I can help you with? You know, And I would have probably no idea. Okay, so that's where the communication will have to come in at and say, okay, well, if I can do this, if I can be back home by this certain time, that can, if there's kids involved or what have you, I won't, stay out too late. I'll be back to help you with whatever. It goes both ways. So there's no one standing in front of the other or dictatorship. It's a companionship. Is what the ultimate goal is. And for there to be a companionship, you have to be in sync with each other. Okay. And so, I don't really know how else to say it, but it's not a dictatorship, it's a companionship. And and you have to continuously tune up that companionship. You can't just, it's good this month and think that things aren't going to change. You have to keep addressing the relationship and what's working now, what used to work doesn't work now. Let's try this. Let's do this. There has to be, open communication. And like the gentleman said, I forgot his name, you have to listen. You have to be able to listen, not just listen for your chance to butt in and say what you want to say. You have to be able to, actively listen to understand, what this relationship needs to continue on, smoothly. So it's all about companionship. You can have a relationship with someone that you like, and always fighting and arguing at least 3 times a month. That's a bad companionship.
No. Let me ask this for the ladies that's listening and for the fellas that's listening. What do you all think? And I want to really hear this from the men too, because can I be honest, fellas? Sometimes men don't get what a woman needs, right? They just don't. And I know that everybody is individual. Of course, everybody's individual, but there's some basic things that women need. For me, my last relationship, and it was long, right? There was a protection issue. You understand what I'm saying? When I say protection, when I'm running the venues and things like that, I'm a single woman out there by myself. And I get you busy, you doing your thing, but can you come by, walk through every now and then and make sure, because I started having issues with neighbors and, things like that. And so because he couldn't give that to me, there's no value for me. You understand? Besides the other things, that's for me one of the major things. I'm not talking about protection with a gun, just protection with your presence. You know what I'm saying? When you got a woman out here that's maybe got her own business or doing things like that, one of the major things, and I don't think men get this enough, that women need is protection. Again, I ain't talking about just pulling a gun, just your presence. Your presence to show people that, yeah, she got somebody, right? So, and men will think, if somebody wants to do harm to you, they'll think twice, right? We all know that a predator goes after single mothers, ladies. Predator goes after single mothers, and they go after women that don't have that, even brother, dad, man around, right? She's open, she's vulnerable. So protection for me is huge. And can I be honest with you? A lot of the men today don't get that. I don't know if they think that, okay, well, you've been doing it so far, you good, what do I have to do? And I think they just miss it. That's for me. I don't know if the ladies can comment on that on the thing. That's a 100% deal breaker, and it's a 100% deal maker for me. So I think that sometimes in this modern world, we get things misconstrued. I don't care about you throwing money at me. Are you going to be a source of protection? Are you going to be somebody my grandson can look up to? That's for me. That's gold, because if you can be somebody my grandson, even though he's not my son, you can be somebody my grandson can look up to. There's nothing better than that for me, right? And so I think that sometimes we, even men, just get a distortion of what valuable women value. Y'all see what I'm saying? So I want to hear from y'all. Let's start off with, I want to hear from everybody what you think the opposite sex values. What do you think people want at the table? Ladies, what do you think the men that you want at the table? Fellas, what do you think that women want to bring to the table? What are we thinking? Are we thinking two different things? This is why we can't get together. So, I'm
sorry.
Go ahead, Tina.
I think women want to feel secure. I think women want security.
Absolutely.
I think they want security, trust, and loyalty.
Yeah.
And I think everything else, I think they can kind of deal with. You know, just when you say you wanted that man to make his presence known, you want to feel secure. But not only that, you want, and I would say consistency, but I think consistency comes along with security. Yeah, I think that goes along with security, because a woman wants to know that if you're gonna do what you say, and vice versa. Say, you know what I mean? If you say you're gonna do it, she doesn't have to worry about, is it gonna get done? Is it gonna, you know what I mean? And also the trust. Can she trust? And trust. People always think of trust as, okay, is he cheating? Is he messing with? I don't think that that's really about trust. Trust is, can I trust you with my innermost secrets, my innermost workings, that my mechanics that has made me who I am, the things that I've gone through in my life that I haven't addressed with anyone outside of, maybe whoever, right? And if I trust you with opening up and being vulnerable to you, if I don't have that kind of trust, you know what I mean? Then there's the relationship is done. It's just kicking the can from that point, and loyalty, am I gonna be with you for the long run? You see the next shiny object that seems like it's, a newer model, a new edition, am I gonna just, pack up and jump to that? You know what I mean? So I think and I think that's universal. I don't think that's just for women, even though maybe men may not express it that way. But I think that that's really the key points that I think that men and women need and want.
I could comments about what you're saying. First of all, Jamal, what I need my brothers to do, and y'all know I got y'all back 100%. I got a show called I Need a Man. However, there's some things where I need y'all to listen. So Jamal, I guess when I was talking, he was like, so no love. Okay, so women really want men to provide, protect, get what they want. For us, that is love, sir. What you got to understand is you're not a woman. And so you guys, as much as I respect how men, we want to understand what's valuable to you, understand what's valuable to us. For you to show up, I don't have that situation no more. Thank God. I'm working, pretty much 100%, from home. But I got shows and stuff like that. If I got a show, and I say this all the time, if somebody is interested in me and they're not coming to my shows, and I'm not just talking about getting a ticket and sitting down, but we had a show, we got heavy things to lift, we got things to do. There's people come. If that man is not there, what value is that for me? If the man who say he's interested in me is not at my public shows where anybody can come in there, right? Not just to see how the show doing. Of course, I want you to do that, but if you're not physically there, right, to just, be sure that I'm good. Be sure that the money good. And somebody like, why? I gotta be honest with you. Why do I need that man? You see what I'm saying? Why? I don't need you after. For a man, it may be different. He may be like, I don't really need you at the show. I need you when I get home. For a woman, it's like, okay, I need you at the show. Y'all see what I'm saying? So Jamal, what I need you to do, sir, is listen. For us, a man doing that is showing us love. Okay? For us and all the women, I want to get some of these comments in here. Shay said something a little, hold on, let me just go back, y'all. Kim said presence is very important. It's everything. Danny says, I want a man who's a leader with integrity, who makes me feel safe emotionally, mentally, spiritually, and physically, that someone I can fully submit to. Amen to that. Feeling protected. Y'all see this, fellas? Women are saying the same thing. It's a big deal. For us to provide and protect, as Latrell. Okay, Shay says women F who they want, men marry who they want. We're going to come to that in a minute. Put a pin in that one, y'all. Iana says emotional intelligence, a leader that can make sound decisions. That's a big one, Latrell. Kim says, yes, saying you're my man, but never showing up and appear to be ghost to other men is not enough. How do you expect to be respected? Yeah, you can't be. Then it's a complete deal breaker for me. Yes, security is key. My girl Deborah Chanel Green know what I'm talking about. No love. Yeah, we got the Jamal already. I think men value loyalty, honesty, faithfulness. Where's God in this? We haven't talked about that yet, Jamal. Jamal, I'm gonna stop putting your comments on here if you can't keep with the, you know what I'm saying? God is all in this, but we're talking about specific traits. I'll show your traits through God. Do I need to teach you about the fruit of the Spirit? Because some things are just, they're given through the fruit of the Spirit. Somebody's saying that they're about God, but they're not showing it. Who cares about that, right, Kevin? Saying you about God, but not showing, right? Because God puts certain functions in us as men and women. So, you know, you saying you about God, and not doing it. If we want to talk about God, we can't talk about God and not talk about God's order, Jamal. And we know that you're about partnership. I didn't read in the Bible where it talked about partnership. Kevin, what you got to say about that? They going off on the comments right now.
I think for me, just using myself as an example, when I moved down here with my now fiance, basically what she needed me to do without her actually saying it was position her so that she didn't have to be superwoman,
right?
So that she could be a superwoman.
Yes,
if that makes sense.
It does. So, it makes all the sense.
She doesn't have to do everything. She doesn't have to do the finances and take the kids here and clean the house and cook and work and try and, you know, to be able to alleviate those burdens from her. You know, when a man can do that, the kind of woman he's able to unearth is, you know, is pretty incredible. You know what I mean? So just for me, I just think women want men to be men, like in the sense of being the priest, provider, and protector. Everything we need to do falls under those three categories. So as long as you are, you know, accepting of that role, everything that your woman needs you to provide will be provided by default.
Yeah. And like I said, it all goes back to this gender role stuff. It just keeps going back. Jason, what do you think? We got a lot in the comments that's going on. I want to get to what Shay said too, that basically women F who they want, men marry who they want. Is that true?
I mean, this is true to some degree. Women provide access to sex, men provide access to relationships. We all know that. There's a lot of guys that beat their chest saying, I'm a man, I'm a man, I'm a man, but they don't show up. They don't protect. They're the ghost. You know, I've been guilty of that myself, just with my head down, and I'm just so focused on this that I'm not paying attention to life. Yeah. And that was a painful lesson. And all I can say is that what women say they want, what society tells men what women want, is not what women want.
No.
You know, you could be the super provider and all that kind of stuff, but if you're not present in her life, it makes a difference. You know, she don't want to go see what the bump in the night was. Meanwhile, I'm going to go and see what the bump was, or I got a bat for the bump, or I got a gat for the bump in the night, and the bump won't be no more. That is what our purpose is. You know, we're supposed to provide and protect, provide shelter emotionally and financially and physically. You know, you don't have to be the shadow that stands behind her that scares everything away. Yeah. But just that she knows that you're there to support, provide, and protect. And when a weirdo comes floating around, that weirdo knows, hey, that guy's still standing there. Oh, he's really close. Oh, he's holding her hand. Oh, he's okay. They are together. I'm going to go and try to shoot my shot that nobody wants to let me make somewhere else.
Yeah.
You know, and that whole, you know, screaming you're a man thing, that doesn't mean that you are. No. But it kind of goes back to what I was saying about dictatorship. You got to be willing to make a decision. And, you know, unfortunately, with our women, you are the only time you're not fighting with majority, it's a fight. You talking, it's a fight. So you have to kind of be resolute with what it is that you're saying, And that's kind of what I meant when I said dictatorship, because somebody has to say which way this thing is going. We can't go in all directions. We can only go in one direction at a time. So if you love me, if you trust me, if I support you the way you want to be supported, then it is no issue for you to follow me.
Yeah, and I think that what Shay said is definitely a difference between a dictatorship and a leadership. I think we all agree with that, right? Dictator.
Yeah, I think the bigger issue is that we get hung up on the words and not the overall encompassing meaning. It is a cooperative. We are in this situation together,
Right.
but somebody got to lead it.
Absolutely.
You can't lead by committee. That doesn't work.
No, that doesn't work in life. Cheryl says, funny, I thought my love for a man's protection was linked to me being 4'11". Well, I'm 5'2". I ain't much taller, girl. But it runs so much deeper. I need to feel comfort. That's a primary function of a man at a primal late situation, Cheryl. And that's what I think, as we have all these discussions, when I tell you it so goes back to like our primal needs, that is a primal need. That is a primal function of a man, and it's a primal need of a woman. Kim says some men try to make you feel like everything he says to you is the only thing that's important. If you can't support me publicly, don't like me publicly. You don't get kudos for that. That's your reasonable service as a mate. Hence, there's so much behind him not being single, able to show up. Yeah, like I said, with it's different with my industry because I'm in entertainment. This is not what I do for a hobby, right? And that's not a lot of men have a blueprint for that, right? A lot of people do this for a hobby. This is what I do for a living. I'll make my money, right? And so I either have the people who are in the entertainment industry or those that are not, and they just don't get it, right? And like you said, like Jamal was saying, women want a lot. No, you just don't. You're giving things that women don't want and not listening to what they value. Same thing as in men. Every woman on here said the same thing. We need protection. We want to be protected. And again, it don't necessarily mean, I'm gonna tell you what protection is also for me, right? A man come over, he see the car, he see the tire, the air. Why would a man leave out a woman's house and don't check her tires? Nobody asked you to buy the tire, just check them. That's a safety issue. You know that women, oftentimes don't get their oil changes or whatever. Check it, right? Check some things. If she's a single mom or a single lady lives alone, just look around the house and make sure she got proper alarms and stuff like that. Those are things that women don't want to have to say to a man. And men, it's something like the older school men would do, right? Automatically. The newer breed, even those who kind of been raised old school, they are vastly neglecting that. Like, keep your purse. I'm good on the purse. I want to make sure I'm good in my home. And again, nobody asking you to buy every single thing, but just check around and be like, okay, this is a little loose. Your tire going down. That for us, I can ask every lady in the comments and I can guarantee you what they're going to say. And these are things that are widely being neglected. Keep your flowers. Check my tires because sometimes I forget. Or go with me to the mechanic place, right? I put up a post the other week. I was very, very upset with the brothers. Put up a post the other week. And I asked, I had a really serious situation going on, very serious. And this is not a rag on men, but I need y'all to see how serious this is. I had a very serious personal family issue, as serious as it can get. My phone was dying. I was running around in my car. I started having issues with my car. And I wanted to see if somebody knew somebody who did a particular thing. I forgot what it was. And so I needed two things. I needed some uniforms for my grandson. So I posted that and the ladies gave me info. And I just needed that mechanic. Do you know the men went off on me? The men begin to say things like, even a couple of women, well, why you don't just go to YouTube? Well, I don't know nobody like that. Well, I couldn't believe it. And the women simply answered my question. The women simply said, here's this uniform shop. They didn't judge me. I was judged. I couldn't believe it. So guess what, fellas? I don't ask nothing on a public post about a car no more. I asked a simple question. I started getting judged about, well, why you ain't got no man that you could call or whatever. Of course I got a man. I was in a situation, but why is my question being dissected when I asked about the uniforms? The lady simply answered the question. The fellas, I was very taken aback by that, y'all. I got to be very, very honest. I was very taken aback by that. And it was, again, that's something. Now you may go to YouTube, go this, go that. Just a brother simply saying, hey, I got this, call my man's right here, right? That even in itself is a simple protection. But I was completely attacked. Real talk, y'all. And so that may not be a big deal to a man. That's a big deal to us. That was a big deal. And I got 5,000 people So, like I got 7,000 people. We know all of them don't look at me, but they literally went off on me. I can believe it. And I'm like, show me another chick that got a book that called I Need a Man. You know what I'm saying? I'm advocating for the brothers, and I couldn't get an answer.
All I can say to that is there's unfortunately some really stupid people on this platform.
Yeah.
And you can't really account for that. Not every guy can man like men are supposed to. You could have definitely gotten some better answers.
Yeah.
So, I missed that post. If I had seen it, I would have given you something better than what you got. So I'm going to take the opportunity to apologize for those so-called men that responded to you on that day. Because, by who's on this panel right now, we don't get down like that.
Oh, of course. And y'all know I don't get down like that. I just had to give an example of things that women value. I simply needed one of the brothers not to dissect my life. And I said on there, I can't tell y'all how serious it was. And my phone was dying. I didn't have time to Google. I just needed somebody to give me somebody's number right quick so I can go get the car checked. And I was very taken aback by that post. Very taken aback. But so thank you, Jason.
We don't expect you to know about cars. The average woman knows where the gas goes.
Yeah.
And not even what kind of gas for what kind of car, but she knows where the gas goes, and that's all she knows.
Yeah.
Whenever I've been in the car of a woman that I was interested in any way, I would tell her, hey, this is a little off, or that's like that. I remember one night I was out and we were driving her car, and I said, Jesus Christ, I can't see through your windshield. The window is dirty. We stopped. I cleaned the windows because how do you function like this?
Yeah.
That's our purpose. What are your brakes doing? Hey, I hear that whistle. Hey, the pedal is wobbling. You got warped rotors. Let's get your brakes done. That's our purpose. That's a part of the whole protection part. We don't expect a woman to know how to do that. We just are the fact that we're in a relationship and that you trust me to know that that's the thing that we can be happy about, because you haven't asked another guy to do it.
Right. Yeah. And it's like, if I'm driving my fiance's car and it's like, she'll ask like, well, when is my oil change? It's already done. Like, I don't even want you to have to worry about
that.
Stuff like that. I see the oil change light came on when I drove your car.
Yeah.
So when I get the money, I'll just get the oil change. Like, that's
right. So you're not again. That's in that. I'm telling you what some of the brothers don't understand. And I ain't trying to tell y'all not to be buying purses, but that's a purse to me. You see what I'm saying? Danny just said, I don't want to put no air in my tire, right? There's some things we just don't want to do. It don't mean that we not grown women or whatever. And on the reverse, now let me say this, fellas, and this is where we need y'all to help balance out, because quite a few women on here say we do too much. Kim, I'm gonna get to your comment too, because I want to talk about your comment. If I'm seeing somebody and I go over his house and he got dishes stacked up, I'm gonna do his dishes. I'm not asking. I'm just gonna do it. Now, and I know that some women take offense to that. I've never really had a man take offense to it, but I'm not gonna ask. Because there's just some things men don't think about. Now, if it's something a little bit more deep in the house, I'll ask. I don't want to be intrusive or whatever like that. And if you say, no, I'm good, that's fine. But if I come over there and he got dishes, I ain't talking about somebody's nasty, but just got some dishes because he's busy or whatever, I wash the dishes. I don't have a problem with that. So I don't have a problem doing the things as a woman that he needs. I don't have a problem with that. I have never changed a tire in my life, and I'll be 50 in a month, and we'll never change a tire. I'm going to call AAA or call somebody, women, well, you should know how to change a tire. Why? Those are things that I'm not going to cut grass. There's some things I'm not going to do, right? I live in a place now where they cut the grass because I'm just not going to cut grass. There's some things that I'm personally not going to do. And so here we go, fellas, though. Do you see it? Do you see how, as much as we try to stay away from what we call gender roles, we naturally gravitate to it? And so we're talking about, y'all, what people are bringing to the table, what you expect at the table. I want to get some of these comments, and then I'm gonna get you. So Shay says she's been undoubtedly, okay, unfortunately I have to trust you undoubtedly to lead. I'm working on it. And I want to talk about that for a minute too. Should a boyfriend be leading? Or should, during this dating phase, how much leading, following, walking together, or whatever should we be doing? Of course, we need a framework or reference for when we decide to, take it another step. But at what point, gentlemen, should we be kind of leading and following? Or is it something that you're just going to observe? So how does that all play out? Because that's becoming to be a big thing in dating now.
I think it depends on the person. Like, though he may not be your husband, if he's displaying the traits of manhood and the things that you're looking for, and he hasn't given you a reason to not trust his judgment, or he's consistent and things of that nature, and I don't think it should be a problem following him. What I do notice as far as men, I'm 42, so like men, I would say 35 and under, who didn't have a father, they don't have as clearly defined the concept of gender roles. Like, this guy I went to high school with, he said, what I'm saying, my wife took the garbage out. Nah, I'm like, you let your wife touch garbage?
No.
Are you serious?
No.
She wanted to take it out. That's not an option on the table.
Oh, yeah.
Are you serious? Like, so when she took the garbage out, what were you doing?
Well, his mama probably was taking out the garbage and he was sitting there.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. And that's like you go to the gas station, and I haven't seen this a lot, but you see the women sitting in the car.
Guy sitting in the car on his phone, woman out pumping gas. Like,
he was pumping gas. He was 7.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. Yeah. So here we go with these gender roles. What do you think? When you're in the dating phase, how do you kind of temper this leading thing, or this, how it'll work on a more serious level?
You know what? For me personally, if I'm on a date and we're in a dating phase, I'm really not a rigid person to begin with anyway. I just kind of go about it with full intention, making my intentions known that I'm interested in you. So all the little things that I can think of that I would like to do, because it comes naturally.
Yeah.
If it's anything that doesn't come natural and I have to force it, like, okay, let me hurry up and go get the door. You know what I'm saying? Before she gets to the door, let me, let me get that chair for you. If it comes natural, it's come natural. I'm already pouring it in. I'm watering something. I'm investing something that I think that I can get something back on, like a return on investment. I hate to make it sound like that, but the type of person that I am, I'm going to put all of that into it, and I'm going to look at how you return. I guess the term is reciprocity.
Yeah.
I'm going to see how you return the energy that I put into it, and that will pretty much determine how far I'm willing to go. Okay. And that's pretty much it. I guess, and I'll know that I'll figure that out within, a few dates. It won't take long at all. So, and again, and going back to, seeing things, if I'm ever have the opportunity to be, brought to a woman's house that I'm dating, and I'm at her house and I see some things, I'm going to mention some things that maybe she may not know, and then I'm going to offer, hey, I got a guy, I got some people that can take care of that. I don't know what your situation is. I don't know, you know what I mean? But that's just showing that you're interested in holding that position in her life. And when you have a position that you are basically saying that I can hold this position, there's duties there. There's you know what I mean? You have to be able to uphold the position. And I think that if you do that, and if you're consistent with it, what you get in return is going to be authentic, whether you can deal with it or not.
Okay. Yeah, that's a big one. That's a big one. Here's the thing, ladies, and I just got to be real with you. If you're allowing a man to come into your home and he leave a load and that's it, that's kind of on you. If he's not checking your smoke detectors or whatever, he's literally coming in, leaving a load and leaving out, and that's what you've allowed, that's on you. People do what we allow. Men, women, whoever. People treat us how we let them. So if you're letting a man come into your home and he come there and he let his load off and he leave there and ain't checked to see if you was good, sweetheart, that is absolutely on you. Okay. I want to play a clip really quick. These UK guys is off the hook, Jason. I know you look at some of the Manosphere videos, but these UK guys is off the hook. I don't know what's going on with these UK guys, but these UK guys is off the hook. So this is a UK channel. And this young lady here is talking about she is the table. And I've actually seen this quite a few times. I'm going to get to y'all comments, y'all off the hook. I've seen this quite a few times with women saying basically, I'm the table. What do you bring? So let's hear what this young lady is talking about. And we'll come back and get I told y'all, be patient with me because when I had the glasses on, it ain't great. When I don't have it on, it ain't great. So, all right, there we go.
Analogy. First of all, sir, if you're the type of man that asks this kind of question, what do you bring to the table aside from your dirty laundry, salty attitude, and inconsistent tendencies? You bring all your shit to our table and expect us to clean it all up. And in some cases, we have your baggage, your insults, and your nonsense screwing up our perfect centerpiece. How's that for an analogy? Listen, just because you brought something to our table does not mean it was desirable. Let's just get that straight. But I'm assuming you're talking about money, which is funny because you're usually the same people that expect us to maintain the age-old gender role of homemaker, all while pulling up our bootstraps and being the breadwinner. Don't know anyone expects us to cook the bread if we have to go out and earn it, but what do I know? Hey, maybe we can put the oven on wheels and bring it to the office. But in that case, I think you fail to realize that we built the table, secured it, and set it. And you want to ask what we brought to it? After we bought the food, cooked the food, and cleaned up after it? All you have to do is chew and swallow. I know you'd like to be recognized for it, but I don't think so. See, here's the thing about living in 2021. Women are more than capable of being independent. We had our table stacked long before you showed up to sit at it. See, you can't ask us what we brought to the table if you refuse to open your eyes and see what we're carrying. But you don't want that. You want to deflect all sense of accountability by invalidating your partner's contributions.
Guys, videos like this are so absolutely hilarious because when watching them, you realize just how backwards some of these women have it, okay? When guys ask you, what are you bringing to the table? We're not asking about your money. We're not asking about your career, how much you earn, right? How established you are in your position. Guys, for the most part, really don't care about those things. You know, girls want to pretend as though it's just a really difficult task to please men in relationships, right? Like we're these complicated human beings where we just want things that are totally unrealistic. Most guys just want a girl who's pleasant to deal with and looks decent. I'm just going to bring up a few comments.
All right, and we'll get to the rest of it. He's got an interest. All right, so this young lady, her comments are not unusual. She basically was like, she's the table, and she really, if she had a deeper voice, I would have thought she was a man. Because, like, sis, and here's the thing, ladies, is listening. This is very common. I don't know. And I'm gonna go to the guys you're dealing with. Obviously, she's dealing with men who ain't working. She clearly says she's the breadwinner. She's bringing the bread. She's doing all that. Sis, well, you're doing that because you're attracting that kind of man because you are the man. Sis, I'm talking to y'all in the comments. If you're doing all of that for a man, you can't get mad because you've become the man and you've attracted a man that needs that energy, right? Because she said, I provide the table, you coming to my table. So, brothers on the panel, what do you think about that? Because this is not an uncommon attitude. If you post that right now, a lot of women are going to be like, well, what are you bringing? Because I am the table. Women are saying that.
That's a manly woman.
Absolutely.
She has, that's the most big dick energy I've seen out of a chick in a minute.
Right. Yeah.
I would never eat at her table because she's not going to tell me what to eat. And she will never get a seat at my table because you're not going to tell me what to do. And if your whole conversation, your position is based off of you are bringing something to the table, baby, I am the table. I got the meal. I got the dessert. If you bring anything, it's just extra. And it's because I want you to be here. That's a part of my reasonable service, the protection that I provide, the love and the support that I have to offer. But for a woman like that to talk that way,
Yeah.
if you had any kids, your life is over with her, because
Yep.
she's going to destroy anything you got left, your hopes, your dreams. She's going to take them, hold them in her hands, set them on fire, and throw them on the ground in front of you, and that's the rest of your life. You see her, run. She
Yeah.
is not worth. She is not worth a coffee date.
I know actually several women who have that energy. And all
You
of
sure
them are
do,
single.
Kevin. It's funny. Let me just kind of take a side note real quick, Kevin. It's so funny because Kevin will do a post and then he go on my inbox. He be like, look at my post. Because he'll say something about men and he get 100 comments. When it's something about women, when I say crickets, I'm sorry, Kevin, go ahead.
Yeah, and it's like all the women I know, like, you know, is I'm independent. I don't need a man for nothing. I'll move that refrigerator. Then you don't need a man for nothing.
Right.
You know,
Or fix
like
that
it's
beeping smoke detector.
absolutely like it's foolish for men or women to think they don't need the opposite sex or anything.
Right.
If that's the case, God wouldn't have created man and woman.
Right.
So obviously we have roles that we need to, you know, but now it's like the end thing to have this masculine energy. Like the silliest thing in the world for me to hear is a female saying, I'll only be feminine for a masculine man. Your essence as a woman is femininity. Like a picture of a man saying, I'll only be a masculine man for a feminine woman. That sounds stupid.
That's the new thing, too. That's the new thing.
Yeah. You know, and it's like women like that, they just keep getting men that they can control, and either the man allows them to use them up, or the man wises up and says, I don't want to deal with that no more. But in either case, those are the women who teach today's women that all they got to do is find a man with money. So when they get out here and find out that a man is more than a erection and a semi-full stomach, that you actually got to have substance, they culture shock because they were never taught that a woman has a role, because the women that taught them didn't display that, didn't teach them that, didn't tell them that, so they don't even know that exists. So
yeah, her masculine energy. You know what you think about that? I mean, that's become, I hate to say it, you know, she is a little bit more aggressive than the average, but that attitude of, if y'all post right now, y'all do experiment, go on your page, just post right now, be like, what do you bring to the table? You're going to get a great deal of women that says, I am the table. What is he bringing? So, you know, what do you think about that attitude?
Well, first of all, that whole 5 minutes of her talking was just basically berating a certain type of guy that obviously she continues to run into.
Right.
So if she continues to run into this type of person, this type of man that she's, you know, don't have anything, you expect everything, you want everything, you don't do nothing, you blah, 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 blah. That means you don't have a table at all.
Oh,
She really don't have a table. Because if that's all she continues to attract, she doesn't have much. I don't, you know, if that's like if you don't smoke crack, you don't run into crackheads.
No, you don't.
I mean, you just don't. I don't, you know, you know, yeah, you are kind of what you attract. I mean, really, you know, so for her to have such, you know, vitriol and such energy of, you know, we are the table, we stacking this, we been had the table, we just had this and had that. And I bet it ain't much. Well, it ain't much, because I've never run into you know, a woman that had that kind of energy directed towards me. And you know, I've run into women that kind of, you know, that's the banter, that's kind of the discussion for the moment. Men ain't doing this, men ain't men no more, and all this carrying on. But if you kind of step back and kind of assess who's talking, you don't find much there, you know. So yeah, you know, if that's how she feels, wait till next week.
Exactly.
I'm gonna say this. I got so many comments to read, and I'm gonna play one more clip. But this has become a really, even if it's not publicly, this has become a real thing. Women are really putting stock into their jobs. They're really putting stock into their careers and their businesses. And the truth is, I share it with the fellas and just a couple ladies, just because women, you know, we don't really do data. That's I'm a little bit different, ladies, because I need information, right? The truth is, women ain't worth much net worth. We're in debt. So, ladies, it doesn't matter if you're making 70, 80,000. If your debt is 85,000, you're a liability. You don't have a table. Your table is financed. You're renting a house. You know what I'm saying? I think that we got a false sense of what some of these things are, and then we're overinflating our value. We're knocking off the men who really would be good for you, right? And what it is, and this we can go back to this UK guy, not this one, this other one. Basically, he said that women want what they want, and that particular guy don't really mess with them like that, so they can't get a relationship with him. So what they do is they start accepting, because you know they want sex and they want companionship. They start accepting these lower value men. Well, the truth is, baby, that's what you qualify for, and your attitude is what qualifies that for you. A lot of times, when I see ladies say stuff like "where the men at" and all that, I actually did a video for that. The men aren't around women like you. Where certain women at? Because fellas, they're not around you. Let me say this, and this should be a blueprint. Ladies and gentlemen, who are your platonic female and male friends? I'm not talking about somebody you cool with on Facebook. I'm not talking about somebody you talk to from in your close circle of friends. Who are your close male and female friends? Ladies, if you do not have high value men in your friends area, what makes you think that? Because men, and y'all can correct me if I'm wrong, fellas, even for you to be a man's friend, you still got to have a certain amount of energy, right? You got to have, right. Men are very conscious about time. And so they're not going to be spending time even talking to their female friend that's not going to bring some type of value to it. And so, ladies, if all of your male friends are bums and players and no good, and those are your friends, fellas, if all of your female friends are good chicks and they good bodies, and that's what you're around, you got to kind of look at what you're attracting, right? Because if you're not in the sphere of these people, right? A lot of time we don't even, the men, a lot of time ladies want, you don't even know these guys. You don't know them. And so if you don't know them, that means that, because you go to the grocery store, right? And meet somebody. So when people say, well, where's the good women? Well, they're not looking for you. Where the good men? They're not looking for you. Right? And so that's a reality that we got to deal with. If again, everybody around you, I don't have men around me that's bums like that. I don't know them. I don't have a reference for that. I have no reference for what she's talking about. You know what I'm saying? There are a lot of men like, well, you know, I may know people, but I don't have women in my circle that's like that. So we got some reality to do here, y'all, because I hear this a lot from men and women. And you're asking about what somebody is bringing to the table. Well, obviously, the people you want at your table don't want to be there. Yeah. What's up? Let's get some of these comments, and we're gonna play one more clip. Wow, this time going by fast. These are my other glasses. I hate these glasses. But I need to read. Let's put a couple of these comments, y'all. And I'm gonna play one more clip, and we're gonna get out of here. All right, Kim. I wanted to get to one of yours. Hang on one second. Oh, Cherie says I agree. Well, I can't say I agree. My parents and grandparents taught me how to do everything I could be clean, but also to change the time. I don't know what I did. That's good, Sharice. That's something I never did as a child, and I'm about to be 50, never did it. And I don't have a problem with people knowing how to do it, but that's just I'm not going to do it. Portia says, my man doesn't allow me to touch a door or trash. Now he's not home, and I take it out. That's different, but damn. Right, Portia. He's the same way about his daughter. That's a good example. Right, if you're not
absolutely.
His daughter, then she's going to, people do what we allow, period. Okay, Kim says a lot of men don't know, believe, or are aware that they have baggage. It's bright as day. Depending on the woman you're dealing with, you begin to look foolish in the eyes of that woman because you obviously have nothing together when you dealt with a woman that has less expectations of what you're dealing with. Yeah, a lot of the brothers have a little high expectations as well. I don't feel like I provide a table. I feel like there's no table without balance. If the legs of the table are unbalanced, the table is not stable. Meaning, it takes both for the table to be stable. Both men and women provide stability in the relationship. Hence why I believe the role both are important to me. What y'all think about what Kim is saying? Basically, it takes both to balance the table out.
Absolutely. Yeah, she's right. If you don't have agreement on both sides, if there's not an acceptance on my end of my role and an acceptance on your end of your role, then the table is going to be lopsided. It's
Yeah.
going to wobble. It's going to be three-legged. It's going to be something that just does not support anything that we're trying to do together. I'll build it. Just help me build. And how you help me build is we are on the same page about things. If we're going in a direction, it's a direction that you had input on, that you're in agreement with. And what you bring to the table is your cooperation and your support. And I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to bring my cooperation and my support. And that's the only way that anything can be put together or maintain itself.
Right.
Okay. Kevin, what do you
And,
think about what Kim said? Does it take both to balance the table?
oh, absolutely. A man has his role and his attributes and his qualities. A woman has the same. I want to go back to her first comment though, where she says men don't realize they have baggage. They absolutely do. It's just that some women are willing to deal with that baggage and some are not. And the men that want a woman pick the woman that's going to deal with the baggage. So it's not that we aren't aware. It's just that we select the women when we're in that space that are going to deal with the baggage.
That's a very good point. Because at the end of the day, so basically, Kim, what you're saying is some men bringing baggage to the table, and we all, to degrees, there's no person without baggage. But you're right; it just depends on who's going to deal with it, right? How much they're willing to deal with. But what do you think about what Kim's saying? It takes two to balance the table out.
I think I want to get into it a little bit more in depth. I mean, your table can be perfectly balanced if it's a table for one. If you can't bring a table for one and invite somebody else to that table, and now it's going to take work. You have to grow the table. You need a new table.
Oh.
Sometimes you just can't bring your table and say, "Hey, come bring what you got to my table." You need a new table.
Okay.
Because, I got a lot of shit. You got stuff here, and now we coming together. We need a whole new table, and so now we have to come together and understand what is this table going to look like. What is the table? Okay. What's your what type of table are we talking about? Is this table for two, or all of that? What kind of table, and how are we going to maintain the table, and from that point. And so that's just got to be an honest conversation. Okay, before we start talking about what you bring to the table, I might not like your table. You may not. Okay, what I have is too much for your table.
Right.
Maybe. Okay, so that's just a discussion that I think that when we're talking about tables, let's assess what do you have? What do you have? What do I have? How can we make this work? Okay, and she's right. Kim is right. It takes two to come together with an open mind, open heart, open ears to listen, okay, and to be honest and sincere. Same thing, honest and sincere, right? But you know what I mean. And let's just bring everything out front and let's build. Let's lay everything out. Let's build. But see, that comes with trust.
Yeah, I want to go back to. Thank you for that. I want to go back to something you said, and then we'll look at this clip. The consistency in I Need a Man. And I've been talking about this since my days at the group we created called Grown Folks. Consistency is the number one green flag, and the number one inconsistency is the number one red flag. I think that men especially don't realize that when we say inconsistent, it does couple with trust. Because if you're consistent, we're not talking about, and ladies, I don't want you to lowball consistency like, okay, he was supposed to call me at 2 or whatever like that. That's, things happen or whatever. We're talking about, do you do what you say you're going to do? Do you show up when you say you're going to show up? And I don't mean just, hey, you got to be here at a certain time. Are you consistent with your actions, support, and your presence? When you're inconsistent, fellas, that breaks her trust. That brings down her respect for you. If a woman can't depend on you, she can't respect you. Now, women, you should not be with a man that you can't respect. So I don't agree with hanging on to that relationship, because what happens is, ladies, you don't know why you start not respecting a man anymore, but you don't respect him anymore because he's not consistent. He has not done what he says he's going to do. He's not been consistent.
See if she got her.
And a lot of women, a lot of men don't understand. Well, how did my woman lose respect? You weren't consistent. Because what happens is women don't want to. Just imagine the little kid, right? That I'm gonna pick you up at this time on a Saturday, and they waiting, and they don't come this Saturday, they don't come next Saturday, right? After a while, she just don't want to be bothered. So the consistency for women is, for me, and I've been saying this, it's number one. It's what builds trust. And trust, and like you said, that security, that's how we love you guys. We're not, this ain't Cinderella. We're not getting swept off our feet, as grown women with this other stuff, right? Things like that. A man showing up consistently, being there consistently, knowing that, okay, this is my rock now, this is my, we're going to love you. We're going to love you, right? But I disagree, ladies, with staying with that man who you've lost respect for because he has not been consistent, and staying with him and then becoming this lady. We're not becoming this lady, right? When you have lost respect for a man, there's nothing else you can do with that relationship. Nothing. And a man knows when you lose respect for him, ladies. He absolutely knows. I'm going to play the last of this clip. This one's going to be a little controversial, ladies, because he's reading his comment, but I need y'all to pay attention because this is actually another big deal.
Comments before we continue on with the show. So this first comment here is from a woman named JD, and it goes, "I was single for 4 years. I'll never regret taking that time to heal and truly find myself."
Hold on, that wasn't the one. Hold on. Is that the one I done messed up. I messed up, y'all. Okay.
That's on this gentleman.
I messed up. That's not the clip I wanted. I'm gonna try to find it. I can't believe I did that. I edited the wrong clip out. All right. So while I'm trying to find that, give the ladies 3 things. And this is going to be in general. It's not going to necessarily be specific to you, right? 3 things in general that most men would say they need a woman to bring to the table to be serious about her. And again, we're using the table as, kind of a colloquialism, but what are 3 attributes or 3 things that most men, before they consider marriage or something serious, would want a woman to bring to the table? Probably that one I think that that you guys want.
Kindness.
Okay.
A good heart and a good listener.
Okay. All right. So you got kind, good heart. All right. What about you, Jason? What's 3 things that most men would want women to bring to the table to be serious?
A good attitude.
Oh yeah.
Above all. Willingness to reset and work through the issues, and inquisitiveness in so much that, like you mentioned, baggage.
Yeah.
Kim mentioned baggage. Men absolutely have baggage, but we're judged to have any or show any. So a woman who is with a good attitude and inquisitive and willing to work through the issues, you feel okay about disclosing some baggage to her.
Yeah.
Because what do if we got a problem? I'm all right. Ain't nothing wrong. But if you're that woman that we trust and believe in and supports us back, then we're going to tell you about that time when this terrible thing happened, or, oh my God, today feels like suicide day. So if we've got this baggage, we're walking around like some kind of nuclear device ready to go off, and we can't really disarm it if we're going home to hell.
Right.
So I would say that good attitude above all, the willingness to reset and not carry yesterday's issues into today, and then be acquisitive, because I ain't always all right when I say I'm all right.
Okay. All right. That's so let me put a pin in that for a minute, Jason, because some men would say, don't do that. In other words, don't be inquisitive. Like, don't kind of leave me alone in this space. Do you think that's an individual thing, or you think that's kind of in general?
It's could be an individual thing, but in general, men aren't so hard that we don't want you to check for us.
Gotcha.
It's not like we don't want you to care about us. Um, if you work at a job and you hate everybody around you, and today was the day you almost hit everybody in the face,
Yeah.
you want to know that. And we don't mind talking about it, because if I'm sitting there and I'm trying to smoke my troubles away, or I'm trying to drink my troubles away, or I'm trying to NBA Live my troubles away, that doesn't fix anything. And sometimes you could just see the problem sitting on the surface. And it matters to us who we pick, like these hyper masculine women that we've discussed before. You can't tell her anything. She don't care.
No,
She doesn't even look like she cares.
Yeah.
And it takes a lot for a guy to come out and talk about something that is, inside and up under his armor, because we walk around in armor all day and all night long. So sometimes that's got to come out. And who else do we talk to but our woman?
Yeah. Yeah. That's really, we talk about those as with Christian faith or whatever, it talks about the Bible. That's actually part of the Proverbs 31 woman, which it says his heart rests safely with her.
Mm-hmm.
That's
the power of the tongue.
Yeah.
The power of the tongue, because that woman that you're trying to depend on, she has that power. And this is why we stand on issues like we do, why we're so convicted and so entrenched in our positions, because if we let you in, you have the power to either build us up to be kings and gods, or you could destroy us and make us paupers and nothing.
Right. I made a mistake and blocked some people. It's because I couldn't see. I'm so sorry. I don't know how to unblock them, because it's not okay. Well, I'm sorry, people, whoever you were. I made a mistake and blocked you. What are the 3 things in general that you feel like men need for women to bring to the table to take her seriously?
I think that Kevin, Jason hit on the key points. I think that a woman has to bring her nurturing spirit. Mm-hmm. Not and see, that's a red herring word too nowadays. You say nurturing, oh, you want what I'm saying, ain't your mama. I've heard that come out. Ain't nobody, you know what I mean? But men need to have a nurturing spirit. We deal with a lot, just in, if a man's taking care of business out here, he's gonna run into all kinds of different issues and angles that when he comes home, he wants to come home to a softer energy. Okay. Yeah. A man doesn't want, I don't want to have to be out here dealing with, folks at the bank, folks at, contractors. So and then I got to come home and then I got to negotiate too.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's
exactly.
You said negotiate.
Yeah.
I'm trying to negotiate a quiet night.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it's like,
that was a man cave moment right there. Y'all always like,
because every guy has had that moment. You come home and you just circling the block, like, damn, I gotta go here. Do I really? Nah, the bar's still open. I can still clear that bar out, and by the time I'm done, she'll be sleeping.
Listen, I've had my share of the hell-raising spirit. Let me tell you, because like when remember Malcolm X when Elijah Muhammad was like, they got too much of the devil in them.
Yes.
They walk the streets half naked. They talk too much. Now they got too much of the devil in them. Right? Yeah, I mean, a nurturing spirit, a caring, all of that. That's really it. A listening spirit. Just help me relax. Can you help me decompress? And I'll do it for you. Right. If I see that you got, I'm one of the men that you go to work, you kind of hate your job, you come home and you be like, what I'm saying? I can't stand this bitch. And I'm like, what'd she do today? You know what I'm saying? Later, yeah, come on, let me hear it. What? Oh, she did. Oh no, yeah. You know what I do tomorrow? I wouldn't even talk to her tomorrow. That's what I will engage and help you decompress. you know, and let's have a good night. Let's let it all get. Let's wake up and have a fresh start in the morning. But you know, just that kind of energy, just more of a nurturing spirit. That really, I don't really have a 2 and a 3 because it all for me, it all comes with that. You know.
Yeah. I think, and ladies, I want to hear y'all's before we get out of here. I think that ladies, especially those, you know, that's more modern, I think we underestimate, because what the fella said is universal. We're listening at the folks from white guys from the UK saying exactly what they're saying. It's universal. I think that, and even y'all boy Kevin Sanders, I wanted to get this clip of him, and but he was saying in one particular thing, because you know he always talking about the grading scale and all that. But he said a man will come down the scale for peace. He said if that woman gonna be that peace and that he said 8 to start look, or 6 to start looking higher up. You know what I'm saying? So I think, ladies, that we sometimes overinflate our sexuality. We overinflate finance. We overinflate some of those things that's not really important to me.
All the time.
Yeah. We highly do that. And I'm telling y'all this from my years in the wedding industry, because the women who get married aren't the women y'all think. Now, it don't mean that every time somebody get married is the perfect choice of the guy. No, not at all. I'm not saying that. But by and large, the women who men pay attention to is not necessarily who they marry, right? And it's all, and she could be hell on the outside. You'd be like, well, she's a bit, but you don't know what she's doing for the home. It's all about what's going to happen when he come home. So, ladies, what are your 3 things? I would say my 3 things. I'm going to speak in general, but I am going to give one for me. So definitely the security, and I think that all goes under the consistency. So that security, that part, that protection, I don't know if that's 2, but that's non-negotiable. And you can pretty much see if that's who he is very quickly on. You know what I'm saying? Because he's going to be concerned about, just going to be concerned about you, your well-being and all of that, you know. And it's such a big deal, fellas, even just to ask, hey, how was your day? A lot of times men don't ask that. You get it, hey, beautiful or whatever, but just sometimes ask, how was her day? You know, that's a big deal for a guy to, hey, did you get home? Or did you, these are important things. So for me, that security, that protection, that is a non-negotiable. His leadership, because to me, his leadership is right on pause with who he is and how God created the world, right? In other words, him in his rightful leadership, that's him in alignment with God. And that's for me, that's non-negotiable. It's non-negotiable. Okay. So the leadership, and I think the leadership kind of, because for me personally, me and you've had this conversation. Because of how God made me, the man has to be able to teach me. I can't be smarter than him, right? And I know a lot of stuff, but I can't feel like that I'm his teacher. I'm never going to be attracted to a man like that. And I don't mean that we can't swap stories and all that, right? Because I study and do that stuff all day, but he has to be able to show me a different way to look. And believe it or not, ladies, I won't date a guy if he can't do that. So they are out there for sure, right? But that's for me. That's part of leadership, though, right? Showing you, and sometimes it's not okay looking at this back in a book. That's not what I'm talking about. He should be able to show me a different way to look at life, a different way to look at a problem. I'm looking at life through the lens of a woman. He may give me another way to look at stuff that's better. So that's, if he's not, I think Latrell said, if he's not that kind of problem solver, that teacher, me personally, and I think, even though I may be saying it in a different way, I don't think the ladies would disagree with me. And so I think if he's in his God-given place as a leader, God-given place with the security, everything will kind of trickle in place, because then that'll be, and I kind of judge men on, okay, but I want my grandson to be like you. I know it sounds crazy, guys, but I do, because that's a measure. And I think if he got that leadership and he got that going on, everything else is going to fall in place. So I think Jamala asked, where's God in this? God is all in this for me. I'm going to get a couple of these and then we out of here, y'all. Kim says, woo, some hyper-masculine women or independent women are that way because they've been left no choice. It's hard to transition to proper submission roles when they meet a man that means them good. I can really speak to that, Kim, because I raised my girls as a single mother. And I've never said I didn't need a man. I think that women take their personal experiences and use that as an excuse. In other words, they may be a single mom or whatever, and they'll take the bad situation they've had with a dude and put that on them being independent instead of saying, no, I got a bad attitude, or I didn't handle that right, or these are women for me that don't take personal responsibility for their actions. This is me personally. And I'm saying that as a person who raised girls. Okay. Cheryl says, yes, leadership, time, security. Okay, those are good. Leadership important, non-negotiable. Yeah. All right, y'all. We can go on and on. I got some other clips, but we'll have to play those later. So bottom line is, what are you bringing to the table? You should be bringing your best self to the table. You should be bringing to the table those things that is important to the man. But if you bring those things that's important to the man, it's going to be well-rounded in your life, period. Some of these things we're talking about, y'all, is just basic life values. They're not, help me out, fellas, we're not talking about nothing that's earth-shattering, life-shattering. At the end of the day, we're talking about attitudes, cooperation, which are qualities that can go in every area of your life. Every area of your life. And let me say this about submission, right? And because it's become a big topic, and I hate it. Women got this big thing about, well, I ain't gonna cook, I ain't gonna clean. Listen, I live alone. I cook every day, all 3 meals, and I clean every day. Am I made for myself? What is the big deal if you could? I don't understand, ladies, some of these things that we're upset with, and I think it's just that we've been so programmed. We're upset at stuff that doesn't make sense. When I had my children in the home, I cooked and cleaned for them every day. We do these things as an adult. So what is the issue, right? If that's gonna make I'm gonna do it anyway, right? But if that's gonna make his life that much better, what's the issue? If that's important to him, just like we're saying stuff is important to us, ladies, like we want the security to the table. If that's gonna help that man have peace in his life, what's the issue? Stop letting these bitter women talk you out of just simple things that would just make your life better, because we make his life better, right? So that's an issue. That's a real issue. And I can't see, I got my glasses off. So any last word, gentlemen, on these tables, the table talk? We had our own little red table talk today.
I just really think that, like I said, the table, it's pretty much a subjective term. Everybody has their own view of it. But I think the key thing is balance. Everybody has to bring something to the table. The table has to be proportionate to what everybody has going on.
Right.
And it also, there needs to be communication, understanding, and listening. Mm-hmm. And, that's the only way it's going to work, in my opinion.
Jason, what's your last thoughts of this table talk?
I think that there are roles and that everybody has to adhere to them for this whole relationship thing to work. There is no togetherness if there is no togetherness. And if we can't agree on base things like what's my role and what your role is in a relationship, then, because that's really the meat of the whole, what do you bring to the table?
Absolutely.
If we can't agree on that, then there can't be anything to move forward to. And lastly, stop getting hung up on words. The overall meaning is more important than just drilling down on this one definition. We can't make it in a 50-year relationship if we can't get past a damn conversation.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And it can only be one man in the relationship, and you don't want to be it.
I know I don't. Not interested at all. Mathino, what's your last words on our version of the red table talk?
I just think that the table again is allegorical for what is your best attributes that you have that can meet and match or that can connect with the other person. So it's all about companionship. For me, I think everybody's talking about relationships, but again, you have a rich a man that's 50, 60 years old. He's got $2 million in his retirement, and he ends up marrying the girl from CVS.
Right.
you know, because the companionship was there. You know, she has a soft heart. She listens. She showed that she cares about him. You
Right.
know, and vice versa. You know, I think that people want to be with people that they know that cares about them. You
That's
know,
a big deal.
and not about, well, what are you doing for me, and what can I, you know what I mean, the whole, you know, and then when that runs out, then what, you know, I don't care about you anymore, what is it's over, you can't provide this or you can't provide that anymore, that's what I'm used to, that's what I'm accustomed to, so this is over, you know. So again, you know, what are you really, what are you bringing, but what is your expectations too? And I think both of them have to match. So what you're bringing to the table and what are you expecting, and go both ways. And I think things will settle itself out from that point.
Cheryl says, I do not, will not, and do not even know how to be the man in a relationship. Therefore, I really need him to be. I'm looking forward to that. Amen to that, Cheryl. So, all right, y'all, we getting out here. I just want to say this too, because things are out of balance. And when I say out of balance, the original design is we get one person very young, we marry them, and we have children, and we together forever. The world is not that place anymore. And so understand there's not a lot of compasses for where we're at. For the most part, if you're our age, you know, 40 up, 35 and up, you've had multiple partners, possibly multiple marriages, children, all type of situations. And so you're coming with all your life. This next person coming with all your life. And now you got to mesh it together, right? These things were never supposed to be. So understand we're trying to make things work in an imbalance in the world. And my thing is, if you can find somebody that can be in that world with you, that's the person you sit at the table with. That's just where we at. Peace, y'all.
Salute,
Y'all
folks.
next week. Anybody got any announcements? Did you, Mathino, did you want to say something about your class? Is that something you can say publicly, or?
Oh yeah, just Michigan Institute of Real Estate.com. You go log right in. I didn't hear you.
I'm gonna type the website in so they
Michigan
can.
Institute, Michigan Institute of Real Estate.
Michigan. Is that up there on in Oak Park?
Yep.
Okay, I used to have an office there.
Okay. Yep. Same place. Yeah.
And you know, I can't see anything on Michigan Institute
of Real Estate. Yep.
And what day are your classes?
Mondays and Wednesdays right now.
Okay. All right. I'll make sure that that's on there. Anything you need to announce, Jason? Anything coming up? Any you want to solicit your compliance? What's going on?
I am with Apex Realty Management and Consulting, as well as Prominence Property Management. So if you got a property that couldn't make it to the market, it's kind of got issues, troubles, you kind of have short dated issues, short dated time frames that you need to make something happen with this, like say a tax sale or foreclosure, I can help you get that property moved, even especially if it's a rough condition property. And if you are tired of taking tenant calls, if you don't want to be bothered with the bookkeeping and CIRA and the tenant that hates you and you don't want to deal with the repairs, I'm your guy. I will manage that property and get it done for you. You can sleep sound.
Website, Jason?
Website's under construction for Prominence Property Management.
Okay. What's the best way for them to? Because I want to put it in there so that way it'll be in the recording. What's the best way for them to reach you?
They could either inbox me here on Facebook, or they can always email me at Apex Realty, M as in Michael, N as in Nancy, C as in Charlie, Apex Realty, MNC at gmail.com.
All right. Got that up there. All right, so y'all got that. We're gonna have to do a finance show. I really do want to do that. I really want to do a finance show because
Black folks need that.
Yeah. Maybe that's next.
Especially going into this next recession. It's going to be nasty.
Oh, this one's gonna be worse.
Oh, the money's gonna fall from the ceiling for some, and there's gonna be a whole lot of people couch surfing and being homosexuals on the other hand.
Yeah.
Okay, so y'all need to tell me what's going on. Y'all, y'all somebody call me because y'all know tell me what's going on. All right, y'all, we need to do a
all right
really quickly. Yeah.
All right. Thanks,
It's
y'all.
my platform. At the end of the day, I'm hosting the men, so whatever y'all want to talk about, just let me know.
Okay, let's do that.
All right.
Yeah.
Peace. Okay.